Hi, I just wanted to hop on today and share a little something with you, and that is my favorite way to meditate. So, you know how if you think of meditation, usually you think about the standard technique of sitting in one spot with it being really quiet, and you're just focusing on observing your thoughts and letting them come and letting them go. That's a really standard way of learning how to meditate. I do think there's so much benefit in that style of meditation, but it's not my go-to. My go-to style of meditation is a little bit similar to guided meditation, except nobody's guiding it. Or you could say source is guiding it. So in many ways, it starts off very similar to the other way of meditating, finding a comfortable spot to sit down, slowing your breathing, arriving in the present moment. But once I'm in that zone, what I do from there is allow my mind to just be open. Just allow it to be open and then welcome in any images that want to come to me. And I really try to visualize it. So I know there are some people whose brains are wired in a way where they don't really see visual images in their mind. If that's the case for you, this is probably not the meditation style for you, because this is about really opening your mind to whatever visual imagery wants to arrive, and then filling that image in with as much detail as possible. So I'll give you one of the common images that come to mind for me when I'm doing this style of meditation. A lot of times where I'm taken is to an outdoor space that has a beautiful slow-moving creek. It has a huge, lovely tree that I'll sit underneath. It has lots of flowers and tall wild grass. It has an amazing mountain off in the distance. I have hiked that mountain in some of these states of meditation. Over time, this scene has become more and more rich with detail. But the thing is, when I sit down to do this style of meditation, I'm not necessarily seeking a specific imagery. I just open up my mind and allow myself to be taken wherever the energy takes me. And then once I'm there, I just allow the details and the richness to unfold and deepen. I do think that with this style of meditation, though, you have to give yourself some time, because it tends to take me like 5 or 10 minutes at minimum with no sort of images necessarily coming to mind. I almost have to get to the place where I forget that I'm even meditating. I'm just sort of in this quiet zone and I've settled. I'm not thinking about the fact that I'm meditating anymore at all. I'm just presence. Once I'm there, the images start to come, and it can be really interesting what arrives. It can be really informative. I like to think that once you get to this space, you can connect with your spirit guides, you can connect with God, with spirit. The scenery in and of itself becomes a process of co-creation in that sense. Just to give you an example of the diversity of the kinds of imagery that can come to mind, one image that will come to mind at times is that I am sort of being transported into, I guess, outer space until I eventually land in a big hand. And in that hand, I curl up and I feel held. And in my mind's eye, that's the hand of God. And from that place, I can imagine that I'm receiving healing for specific things, that this is sort of a pit stop, a place where emotional, spiritual, physical healing can occur. It feels really powerful to me. Like I mentioned before, there's that mountain in the landscape that I described. And so I've had meditations where I'm transported to the mountain base itself, and the whole meditation is the process of me climbing the mountain and then getting to the top. What was striking in that meditation is that once I was at the top of the mountain, I could see on the other side of the mountain. And what was there was a huge, beautiful clearing. And so in a different meditation, that clearing was where I was transported. And that clearing has become a place that is symbolically the gathering place for anyone who wants to have these sorts of conversations, the gathering place for you and I. And so in future meditations, I started preparing that space. So in that clearing, there is a creek. I imagined preparing that creek to be a water source for anyone who were to come. So I imagined installing some sort of like water filter. I imagined planting a bunch of deciduous trees so that there'd be all different kinds of fruit available for anyone to eat. I envisioned preparing beautiful natural seating areas for people to snuggle in and be comfortable. And of course, then a big fire pit that we can all gather around. But the main purpose that always emerged from that particular imagery is just the process of me pouring love and energy into this symbolic space with full faith and belief that people will come, and that when they do, I'll be ready. So for me, this style of meditating has felt really powerful. It's become a really integral part of my life. So I'll always start off with prayer, with the intention of the process being guided by God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and well and wise, healed and whole ancestors, angels, and guides. My intention is that these moments open up a channel. And for that reason, I always pray and set the intention that that channel be safe and protected. And then at the end, I always make sure to close that channel. One of the really interesting side benefits of this style of meditating, because it is so visual, is that it's also naturally an exercise to strengthen clairvoyance, which is simply clear vision. Clairvoyance is something that we all naturally have, with some having a much stronger gift in that area than others. But in order to strengthen that natural ability, most of us need to intentionally practice visualizing imagery in as much detail as possible. So if you haven't done it in a while, even just simply sitting down with the intention of visualizing all the detail of a red apple can feel challenging. But if you try that exercise like once a day for a few days, you'll notice that eventually you can really visualize the whole red apple in quite a bit of detail. It's not something that ever came to mind for me when I first started meditating this way. I first started meditating this way because I wanted a way of resting my energy like I was spending time with spirit. And this is the process that emerged from that. But later on, I did find out that imagery work is a very common way to practice strengthening clairvoyance abilities. So just an interesting side benefit, I guess. Anyway, I'd love to hear if you've ever tried meditating in this sort of guided imagery where it's not guided by an external audio of any sort, and what your experiences have been with it. I'd love to connect with you in the comments. Take the very best care, and I'll be back again soon.